Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 260. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, Mike.
Yeah, who needs to step up his microphone game because Chris sounds way too legit now with the new one he just bought. Really fancy looking. The sound quality is superb.
Had some money to burn.
Oh yeah, it's very sultry. Like you sound like I'm listening to Howard Stern or something. The quality is just too good.
Man. I was playing around with it the other day, and you can do like all these weird things with it. So I could go into like movie voiceover mode.
Oh,
you're like in a world, like I can
in a world. Yeah. Episode 260 of Fortress of Comic News today on the show. But no, we do have a special guest today on the show. Daniel Calban, I think.
Calban, yeah. Even though I said Caliban in the show.
Yeah, he said Caliban. It's Calban, just to correct Chris on the front of the show here. He's going to be talking with us about Night Wrath. I was actually super excited we got to do this interview because Chris texted me like 3 days ago saying, "Hey, we got a quick substitution, Night Wrath on Kickstarter." I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was laying in bed one night, which I usually do is I'll go through Kickstarter like just before I go to sleep, just to like get my fix on like buying comics and supporting some shit. And I saw the picture of Night Wrath, and I was like, I don't even know what this comic's about. This character looks awesome, and I backed it instantly. So glad we have Daniel on. So look forward to that and what he's got going on. Really cool guy. So
yeah, I was happy too. I mean, wasn't happy that our other guest had to bail. He had personal issues. We're gonna do him in the near future because I really love the book that he was doing. But I always go through Kickstarter as well, and I'm looking for guests and all that kind of stuff. And I saw this was one I put to the side, but we had, humble complaining, whatever you call it. But we had so many people asking to be on the show that I couldn't really reach out to a bunch of Kickstarters this month or into next month. So
humble brag. But that's always a good sign, and we always appreciate that. We thank everybody for listening, for supporting, and for wanting to be on the show. That means the things we say or the things we get others to say are still worth listening to. All right, and that's the most sentimental I'm going to get. Grab your tissues, Chris. Sorry about that.
Save all that for 300. All right?
Yeah. I want to thank the Academy. Then Chris is over here. Get my cat's name out of your mouth. Anyways, too soon. We won't make fun of Will Smith.
Speaking of too soon, I'm going to talk more about it later. I posted online, but in the new Batman Beyond, that comes up.
Yeah, so for any of you that don't know, we had Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanzig on the show last week, who are writing Batman Beyond Neo Year that just came out. Fantastic first issue. We're going to talk about it at the end of the show. Yes, there it is. Beautiful art. But there's a panel where it's literally the interaction from the Oscars. And if anybody knows anything about this comic script was written and printed probably well close to a month ago. So there's no way they had any idea of knowing. But it was pretty funny to read.
Yeah, it was probably scripted like 6 months ago.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, if they tried to make a last minute edit to the script and print it, there's no way they would have had it done in time.
No, it wasn't that big of a deal at the end of the day. It wasn't like it was, No,
it was just still funny to see. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing that happened last week. I thought I forgot about. Cool stuff going on. Anything comic related that I've done? Nothing really crazy. Sonic 2 came out this week. Did you see it?
I haven't had a chance to. No, I do want to go see it though.
Yeah. I will say that. There's a cool thing going down in New York City. If you're a Harry Potter fan, my girlfriend got to go down yesterday. It was a Christmas gift to her, but it's a Harry Potter virtual reality thing in New York City. So you buy a ticket, and there's two story modes you can do. There's one where you're like in Hogwarts and the Great Hall, and like a dragon comes in, and there's another one where you're like on a broomstick flying around. And I mean, you're put in one of these. If you've ever done like these VR things, I've done them for like shooters before, like first person shooters.
Mhm.
And you're in like a 10 by 10 concrete floor, empty room with these headsets on, walking around in a circle. But like the scale of it is amazing. I mean, you feel like you're actually in Hogwarts. And then the whole building is like different tiers of like gift shops, and they have a whole like butterbeer bar where like crazy copper pipes coming out of the walls and stuff. And you actually like, they actually make the butterbeer is poured with like a cold foam top and everything. It's legit. Like they're doing cool stuff over there at this Harry Potter experience thing. So it's cool to see stuff like that happening.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't had a chance to try any like VR stuff.
I have before. It's interesting.
Yeah, I know you suffer from some motion sickness stuff, but I suffer pretty bad too, and
Yeah.
I'm always afraid because there's been a few times where I'm like, oh, the Quest is like $250 right now, but $250 is a lot to burn if I just puke every time I try to use it.
Grab the garbage can.
So I keep waiting for one of my friends to be like, I got, a PlayStation VR or whatever, and then I can go over and try it and see if it makes me sick before I buy one.
That's funny. Yeah, the one I did was a first-person shooter, and the only part it started to mess with me was when like there were parts where you're walking, and in the virtual reality, it was like a ramp or an angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're walking on flat ground, so that's where it started to mess with me, where I thought I was going to trip or fall. And then like there's some of them where you're on like a catwalk, and they make it like 100-foot drop down, which that's where you start to get motion sickness.
Yeah, because they have a bunch of like the Star Wars ones, like Vader Immortal and everything. I really want to try, but
yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's hop into the little bit of news we have here. HBO Max is reportedly working with Jackson Hyde. Is working on a Jackson Hyde Aqualad series. The series will be a live-action adaptation of the young adult graphic novel "You Brought Me the Ocean." Charlize Theron, AJ Dix, Beth Kono, and Andrew Haas are attached as executive producers. Interesting. How is this going to tie in with Aquaman? I don't know.
Yeah, if at all, because I still don't know what WB's doing with their DC universe.
Yeah, and we could talk about it here. I think they announced moving forward the future of Ezra Miller is kind of stopped. So first off, I think the Flash movie's cursed. Let's just say that.
Well, real quick before you go too far into it, because I read a report that said that Warner decided no such thing was happening, like that they weren't making any decisions right now on that. So
until he gets arrested one more time.
Yeah, but like you said, I think the Flash is cursed. Like I went down the rabbit hole of him being just a crazy person, from like the video of him choking a fan to like him assaulting some people that hosted Airbnb or like a hostel he was staying at, to getting arrested in Hawaii, whatever. Some of the videos I've seen him post, he doesn't seem like a person that's very sound of mind or mental health, or might need some help or something. I don't know, but either way, he has the press tour coming up for Flash, and he's in the Trials of Dumbledore, something of Dumbledore, the new Harry Potter film. Yeah, whatever that Fantastic Beasts movie, which I read wasn't that good.
No, yeah,
I haven't watched any of those Fantastic Beasts movies yet.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is they try to make it Fantastic Beasts, and then they flipped it into a Dumbledore movie and tried to do both. And it's like, if you wanted to do Dumbledore, just do Dumbledore, But yeah, I should shut my mouth because I will get judged very, very hardly by the other person living in this apartment, and I know nothing about Harry Potter, so we'll keep it at that.
So to the fans out there, I've yet to meet her in person, and I can't wait to just go and meet her and be like, and just scream, "You're a wizard, Harry!"
She might like that. I don't know, but yeah, if I get something within the universe, it's like comic books around me. I'm like, well, technically, there's 5 other Batmans in the whole universe, and that's me trying to explain the Zack Snyder Justice League. But
the Flash doesn't just run fast, guys.
All I'll say about this, thoughts aside, whether you think Ezra Miller's, if it's amazing, he could be an asshole, whatever. If this is an issue, we have a Flash. His name's Grant Gustin. This dude earned his stripes. Give him the money.
Yeah, but his show ended, so I mean...
Yeah, but his show ended. He's not Flash anymore.
Yeah.
Also, I don't have any Flash facts for you. I don't know. I forgot to remind Patrick. Patrick usually just texts me. Just thinking about it now. So, Patrick, we got to catch up next week. Okay, so...
Just to circle back around, I'm all for a Jackson Hyde Aqualad show.
Yeah.
Basing it on a young adult graphic novel, I worry it's going to be too melodramatic for my tastes.
Yeah, you're taking the coolest thing about an Aqualad show and you're CWing the shit out of it.
Yeah, that's the feeling I get.
I don't.
And from what I heard, this... I don't want to speak too much out of turn, but from what I heard, this is like a romance story.
Yeah.
Anyone doesn't know, Jackson Hyde's an openly gay character, and it's a romance story about him and some guy, I don't know who.
Right.
That's not what bugs me. What bugs me is just melodramatic teenage crap. Like,
yeah,
I can't do it anymore. I was a curmudgeonly old man when I was a teenager. Like, it only got worse when I hit my 30s.
I mean, I'm glad this is their favorite show, whatever. But like I said, the coolest thing about Aqualad is not the fact that he's in a relationship. It's the fact that he's fucking Aqualad. He can that he talks to fish.
He's not badass. He controls water. He makes swords out of water. Like,
he's a waterbender. Like, talk about that.
Exactly. I'll at least check it out though, unless it's like the Aquaman animated series bad looking. I'll at least check it out.
I couldn't even. I tried for like 5 minutes. Couldn't do it.
I haven't even tried. I'm so afraid of it.
Yeah,
it scares me. Everybody.
Yeah, it should. Honestly, it should. Okay, let's talk about Moon Knight episode 2. I actually just finished it. Yeah. So I know nothing about this character. Okay, do I like it? Yeah, it's good. Is it my favorite Marvel show? No way. That doesn't mean it's bad. I think the character seems pretty cool. I want to get to like where we need to go, and this episode wraps up with us in Egypt, so I think that's saying, okay, we're here. Things are going to start moving. That's all I really wanted out of this episode. But you can talk a little bit more about it. You're more of a bigger fan of the character.
Yeah, they're giving him superpowers, which is weird. He doesn't really have superpowers. I mean,
okay,
kind of. He has some increased strength and all that, but I'll say the Mr. Knight sequence got a little too Deadpool-y for me.
Was that, you mean with the suit? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the suit and tie is referred to as Mr. Knight in the comics.
Yep.
But I did love a lot of the action sequences. I liked pretty much everything else about the episode. I think it's good action. We're building some cool characters. And at the end of the day, even if they stray away from exactly what Moon Knight is, blah, 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 there was no world where I'd ever get a Moon Knight show or movie or anything. And now I live in it. So I can live with the changes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I'm in the minority here, but I really, really like that suit, like the mummified suit.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. I think it looks cool.
Okay, I wasn't sure I was the only one because I'm really digging it.
No, and I did like the sequence of him. That's the one thing I want to say. Him jumping across the rooftops with the cape and the suit. I thought that part was cool. And then I was like, and you know me, I mean, I'm easy to please. It's like watching Batman. So seeing that was pretty cool for me. I thought it looked nice. I thought it looked pretty badass.
Yeah, and I like getting a deeper dive into his Mark's wife.
Mm-hmm.
We get that reveal, and then just a deeper dive into Mark as a character too. Because that was always going to be a tough balance. Like, we're going to have to get to know and care about 2, maybe 3 characters through one person. So I thought they've been doing a pretty good job. I like it. Not as much as I like the first episode. I really liked the first episode. I thought that they handled it really well in the first episode.
This one left you wanting more. And And I will say it's still some issues with the CGI dogs, and there's ways to fix that issue, which they did. They had the fight happen at nighttime, and they also made the dog invisible for over half the fight.
That was kind of funny when they would show like what everybody else was seeing.
Yeah, and he's like getting hit in the face by nothing. I guess that's what you got to do when you got to pay Poe Dameron and Ethan Hawke to be on your TV show. Everything else has to suffer.
I'm trying to think. I like it more than. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, but I think I like it more than Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay. Yep.
What else do we have? Mm-hmm. I think I like it more than Loki as well.
I don't. When he multiverse and time travel, I think I like Loki more.
Okay.
I think I like it more than WandaVision.
I don't like it more than WandaVision, but WandaVision was my favorite of all of them. I think I like Hawkeye more, which is shocking.
Hawkeye was a lot of fun.
What am I missing one?
I feel like we're missing one. Hawkeye, WandaVision, Mandalorian's the best.
Yeah, that's not Marvel, though.
No, that's he might as well be a superhero at this point.
So I guess if those are all of them, it'll be middle tier for me. But
yeah,
what's got next? 2 episodes, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, the fact that we have all these shows that like we could go through a list of shows now is pretty amazing and wild to me.
The fact that I could possibly be forgetting a Marvel Cinematic Universe TV show based on a B or C list character proves that I live in the best timeline.
Oh yeah, there's no better timeline. That's the tagline of the podcast. No better timeline. Unless you're the Flash, you feel the need to fuck it up all the time.
I mean, DC can make some good stuff. That'd be good, but
yeah, we're waiting on that. They did make a good thing. It was called 66 Batman. They peaked.
It's true. It's true, everybody.
It had to be said. Let's jump to this awesome interview we have with Mr. Daniel Kalban, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
Welcome to the other side.
Whoa, the other side. Another podcast. No, this is the same podcast, different side. Check out Daniel and his maybe or maybe not universe he's building. I think interesting. We had 2 New York City natives in the show back to back.
Oh yeah,
and you could tell like Daniel was doing the same thing Elisa was doing. Where they almost talk about New York City like they know it's someone they know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found that funny in both those interviews. It's kind of like it's almost like charming. It's like wow, like the city really does grow on you. Because clearly he still lives there. But he's like, the spot in between these 2 spots. I'm like, no, I don't know, but like it's almost like you're explaining somebody I've met. Like
yeah, it's like what, you don't know these things. Like why don't you know these things?
Yeah. But no, great stuff. Yeah, check out Night Wrath. Should be going for at least another 24 hours since you hear this. Yeah. Let's jump into comic book news, Chris.
Let's do it.
DC has announced the first tie-in comic for its upcoming Dark Crisis event. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a League, Superman. Oh, Christ. Here we go.
We're back at Dark Knight's Death Metal.
All right. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a League - Superman #1. Okay. The title, a little jarring, but written by Tom King, art by Chris Burnham. Holy shit, Batman. Let's go. Chris Burnham back in the fold with Mr. Tom King. Okay, but I think he released a picture. I think Chris Burnham already had part of it, something drawn that they shared, and it looked awesome.
Yeah, the cover to the issue.
Yeah. Tom King, okay, you could probably redeem yourself here. In my eyes. Let's do it. I mean, you saw Scott Snyder grab hold of the Dark Multiverse. You want a piece of it, okay? Just don't ruin it for everybody else, Watchmen. But what I'm saying is, I'm right, Chris.
I haven't finished Rorschach, so I can't judge what he did with Watchmen.
I haven't finished it either. Okay, but anyways, Chris Burnham's art, fantastic. Tom King is a storyteller. What as much as we him and Ha joke around, he's a storyteller. Dark Crisis has got me excited. Especially this series is going to feature Superman in a darker universe that doesn't have a Justice League, and has John Kent in a Robin-like costume. Interesting.
Yeah, so I got from that image that Superman's going to take on a Batman-like role.
Yeah.
And if that's true, either way, I'm going to check it out because I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for event comics.
Yeah, me too.
But if that's true, that's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah,
And
I think
it's a one shot, so I don't have to invest in too much. I can invest in one comic, and if I hate it, never touch it again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think it's Williamson's orchestrating everything, right? I would think.
Yeah, he's doing the main series.
Yeah, so it's branching off from him, not the other way around, which might be better for Tom King in the long run. Like you said, just a one shot here. So
yeah, like it reminds me of when they did Death Metal,
and
you get the one shot and like the one tie-in. Like Grant Morrison does one, and so on and so forth. So
yep. Young Justice looks to be done in the cartoon space. It's going to live on with a 6-issue limited series. The new series called Young Justice Targets from writer Greg Weisman, the Young Justice Phantom's showrunner, and artist Christopher Joan, the Young Justice Phantom storyboard artist. So it's the team taking it up for comics. It's said to be a follow-up of Young Justice Phantoms, which was the last season of the TV show on HBO Max. The Young Justice Targets will release first on DC Universe Infinite, and then later at comic shops and Comixology.
We haven't heard about Infinite in a while.
Wow. Yeah. Talk about a throwback. I really wish we had another platform for digital comics. That's another conversation for a whole nother time. But someone a lot smarter than me should do something about that.
Yeah, with some startup capital that could fight Jeff Bezos.
Good luck. And server space.
I constantly look at Young Justice and be like, I should check this out, and then I just never do.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever watched it?
I've watched the original series. Amazing. I started watching the new series, and I just dropped off. Life got in the way. I probably will pick it up again because it is good. It's very good. You've never even watched the original seasons?
No, I've never checked it out.
You'd really like it. It's along the same veins of quality, not tone or things like that, of animated series, Justice League Unlimited, that style. I think it holds up just as much as those do.
Okay, so fans of it, there's more to read at the very least, if they're not going to do more. Yep. I think it's kind of cool that the showrunner and the storyboard artists are the ones doing it as well.
That's really cool. You never really see that happen, so interesting. Good on you, DC. It sucks it wasn't a TV show. Comic books a lot cheaper to make, but good on you. A lot
cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. DC's returning to pre-crisis continuity.
Yay!
God. With a 3-issue series called Superman Space Age. I did see this. Mark Russell is writing, and art by Mike Allred. I don't care what continuity it is. I'm buying the book. Doesn't matter. The plot synopsis says that its Space Age will be about Superman becoming a hero in the age of the space race. Will be set before the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Interesting.
You could have told me it was a Mark Russell book, and I would have checked out at least the first issue.
Exactly.
You could have told me it was a Mike Allred book, and I would have checked out at least the first issue.
Yes.
You tell me it's both, and it's Superman. I'll pre-order all three.
Yeah,
I'm confident that I'll like it enough that I'll buy all three.
Mm-hmm. Is this a Black Label magazine style book, or is this just?
I can't speak to magazine style, but I believe it's a Black Label book.
Okay, because the 3-issue series is like what they've done in the past with all the other stories.
So I like, and whenever Mark touches Superman, he does them right.
Yeah,
like in all from Wonder Twins to One Star Squadron, which we'll talk about later. And everything else he's done, Superman's always good in those. So I'll be interested to see him do Superman on his own.
Yeah.
And like I said, all red art, I'm in.
Yep.
I look forward to this.
Yeah. Good on you, DC. Marvel has announced a fourth Avengers title coming this summer called All Out Avengers, meaning we're all out of Avengers idea, so here's a fourth book. Really? Someone was in that meeting room like we're out of Tom Brevoort, we're out of ideas. We're all out of ideas. And he goes, that's it. All out Avengers. Let's go. We're going to the press. Not much is known about it other than some teaser images featuring Captain America and She-Hulk. Because even Marvel's not sure who they're going to feature in this. Come on, really? This shit writes itself. My God.
Yeah, I want to know creative teams and everything, but
yeah.
Time for some Avengers.
Chris is like, I think it's pretty cool. Honestly, if this was a fourth Justice League book, I would be reading it. So it is what it is.
I think the only thing that holds me back completely from saying like definitely I'll check it out is a creative team. Like if it's, I don't know, I can't even speak to who. I don't want to put anyone down, but if it's somebody I don't really like or somebody I never heard of, I might wait to see like, is it going to be that good? Because I already got 2 Avengers books that I'm like, I enjoy but aren't the greatest.
Wait, you're not reading the third Avengers book?
Well, the third Avengers book is Savage Avengers, which is going to be the pinnacle of comics by David Pose.
Yeah.
And it's got no more. I got no more before I go into it. But I'm looking from the teaser. It reminds me of when they did like the All Ages Avengers book.
Okay.
So I'm kind of wondering if that's the road they're going down. And if we all remember, IDW doesn't have All Ages Marvel stuff anymore. So.
And they almost used it to introduce younger people into the characters. And we know She-Hulk is going to be a thing soon. So I think you're onto something here, Chris.
Yeah, don't be shocked if like Moon Knight's on the team, or I don't know, Hawkeye.
Yeah. I mean, if we know anything from what Tom Brevoort told us, it's a business,
Yeah, maybe Doctor Strange will be on there.
Doctor Strange.
Maybe there'll be a multiverse of madness, or I don't know.
Wow. Bruce
Thor's
Campbell
got a movie coming out too, right?
Yeah, someone's got one. But yeah, so Chris will be checking it out. He'll let us know. Jeff Lemire's Substack is getting another Black Hammer title. The new title is called Colonel Weird and Little Andromeda. It's an anthology series that will join Tale from the Farm as a new It's going to join Tales from the Farm as a new ongoing Substack original Black Hammer series. I'm still not doing Substack. I don't really understand how that works. Do you get physical copies if you join Substack, or is it all digital?
I think it's all digital.
Yeah.
But I think you can get like... So Tinian's doing some Sandman book right now, and he's going to have a Substack exclusive variant cover for that Sandman book. So there's some physical like thrown in there, and I know like Donnie's doing that Vanish book. There's going to be a Substack exclusive variant for that as well. So there's some, but it's mostly just digital. I'll be honest with everybody. This is the closest I've come to doing a Substack. Now that I have 2 Black Hammer books on there.
Yeah, I know.
Between that and what Scotty Young's doing with I Hate Fairyland, I've been really close to like checking out Substack.
Yeah, same here. And before we talk about what we read, I did see this whole Bad Idea donut thing was real.
Yes.
So they went to South Carolina Comic-Con, one of the Carolina Comic-Cons. They sold donuts, and a comic came with a donut. If you want the comic, you could get it for about $200 on eBay now. So, I just look at the Bad Idea stuff, and I'm like, man, I really don't want to pay $200 for this comic. That's probably, to be honest, it'll never live up to the hype of $200. I'm just going to say it right now.
Yep.
So, I don't know what Bad Idea is doing. They're definitely generating hype for themselves. But now it's kind of gone away from the whole local comic shop thing and just kind of making a spectacle sort of thing.
So we were both like big supporters of Bad Idea at first.
Yeah.
I stand by a lot of those books they put out. Because I've heard some people talk about it who like are just starting to figure out who Bad Idea is in the past, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'll say to all those people, like, the books were great. I really enjoyed pretty much all. There was like 1 or 2 that weren't my taste, but I thought they were all really good. In the year of our Lord 2022, Bad Idea has lived up to its name. And this is the Invisible comic was stupid.
Yep.
And this is kind of a slap in the face to me of what Bad Idea stood for.
Right.
Like you said, it was kind of, even though they made retailers jump through hoops and do all this weird stuff, it still at its core was pro retailer and pro consumer, and doing a comic exclusive to a Comic-Con. Not just that it's just one Comic-Con, but in today's day and age, one Comic-Con is very anti-consumer in my opinion. And then I thought the donut thing was funny, but
it was funny, yeah.
It's unfortunate because so for me it's a lost Robert Venditti book. It's honestly, if it was on the shelf, that's a book I'd pick up because it seems weird and goofy and stupid. It's about a beaver who likes to eat wood, like.
Yep.
But yeah, I was not happy with that whole thing, and I got, I'll call him like I see him. I just think, like you said, they're making a spectacle of themselves. Dinesh went a little bit too far in this one,
right? And to really help out the local comic shops, I shouldn't have to go to eBay to get all my books from them. Like they should really up the prints, do a relaunch where they have like volume to sell or something like that, or at least just like be able to order those books still through your local comic shop, and they could, like, every few months they'd release more books or something. Like, there's better ways to go about it.
I think the only way this can redeem itself is if there's a second printing, even though they don't do second printings, but if there's another printing that goes to the comic shop, so at least I can buy the book and read it.
Yep.
If they don't do that and they just cut it off at this one con and never do it again, then yeah, I think it's a bad stain on what they were trying to do. So if they do come back with another wave, as goofy and weird as it sounds, Bunsen Beaver better be the first book that gets announced, for me to jump on board. Yeah,
just a little disappointed.
Unless it's a Mike Allred book, then I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about what we read this week. I got Territory issue 2 in the mail from our good friend. He's been on the show twice. He's our friend, Blake McCarthy. So we got the second issue to Territory, the big kaiju book. I got some awesome covers. I don't have them. I wish they're in the other room, but I wish I had them with me now. I'd show them off. But they're really cool variant covers, those neon colors. This issue kind of we hear about a second kaiju, a little more insight into some of the characters in the tribe, and there's a little bit of a conflict within the tribe of like, okay, we worship this thing that kills everybody. We also have a way to heal everybody. Where do we really care about everyone or not? Or like, it's almost the whole religion thing is kind of seems absurd to the younger generation. So I think Blake's doing a good job with this book.
Got to call out Blake and our boy Travis Gibb.
Yep.
Both of them I'm seeing people getting their books. I, being your most important reader, have not gotten these books.
Oh.
What's going on? What's up, guys?
What's up?
They're probably in the mail. I know it goes, and I joke around, but I look forward to getting my copy. As soon as I saw you got yours, I was just every day to the fucking mailbox, like, is he here? And then I saw that Travis's book that I'd like bought every cover of. People are starting to get that, so now on top of that, it's like, is that one here? And my mailbox is just sad and empty every day.
Spiderwebs. Yeah, it's good. Batman 122, Williamson Porter. This is the part 2 to the Shadow War Everybody last week I talked about Ra's al Ghul getting shot and blown up. Basically, Damian goes out on his own to find Ravager, Deathstroke's daughter, and is like, listen, we need to find Deathstroke because him and his son are now into hiding because there's this whole war going on. And Ravager's like, yeah, I'll go kill my father, no problem. Batman goes to see Talia al Ghul, and they make out. That's pretty much the issue. No, I mean, there's definitely they still love each other, whatever. She's injured. The Deathstroke's guys and Talia's guys are all fighting a big war with all these different villains. Pretty cool. Did it need to be in my main story Batman book? No, but they're trying to just get us along until we get the new storyline. So,
listen, Chip, you're taking over Batman Love Triangle. Talia, Catwoman, Batman. Let's do it.
No, you want Kevin Smith to write that. Monkey Prince number 3. This is Yang and Jean Lun Yang, and Chang is drawing the book. Great issue. Monkey Prince gets the girl. He gets the girl. The actual character likes this girl in high school. Helps out her brother, who's the bully, as the Monkey Prince, and then she like kisses him and finds out it's the nerdy guy in school. But the demon penguin is still going around. We get a little more insight into the demons that are in the are in our world now, which is kind of cool to see that. But then we find out, Penguin is now a demon. Captures Monkey Prince's parents as a way to try to get Batman out of hiding, and says, "Hey, I have these people. I'm going to kill them. Come fight me," kind of thing.
Yeah, I really like this issue altogether. Yeah. It was just a good issue. Fun side story. I posted on Twitter, but not everybody follows me on Twitter. I read this and I was like, I should really read Journey to the West.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I never read it. I should really read it. So I was looking up copies of it. I was like, I'll put it in my wish list, and then down the line I'll buy it. And Penguin Random House Classics has a hardcover copy you can buy. And guess who does the foreword for it?
Jean Lun Yang?
Yes.
Wow. That's actually awesome.
So that is the copy I plan on buying when I do eventually do it. But I thought that was really cool that he actually did it.
Yeah, because he does cite it in this issue.
Yeah.
I'll probably just watch the movie because I don't like actual books, but
yeah, I got a stack of novels to get through before I buy any more. But yeah,
Chris is more civilized than I, so
yeah, someone's got to be the smart one on the show, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't do shit. Let's talk about a book we were super pumped for. Really quick, I read Batman Beyond White Knight. All the things Chris said last week are true about it. Really good book. Really cool to see Batman Beyond in this universe. Excited to read more. Batman Beyond Neo Year by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanzig, Dunbar on the art. I thought Dunbar did a great job with the art. I thought it was a cool first issue.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal job with the art. Cool first issue. We meet an awesome new villain with a sword. Hell yeah. I'm in. It's everything they talked about in the interview last week. If you didn't hear about it, go check it out. But it delivered, and I'm in for the rest. So
yeah, it still felt like Terry. They found a way to make it feel like Terry while at the same time being its own, like a different enough where it wasn't just a rehash. I'll be interested to see a lot of the stuff they talked about with the city didn't really come into effect in this issue, other than like we know that the city is out there like recruiting people to help them.
Right. Yep.
And there was also that great moment where like Barbara wants to retire, and Terry's sitting there like, do I tell her that her entire life's work was meaningless because what's really happening behind the scenes? I like that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we talked about, Bruce Wayne's dead in this, and he goes to the villain, the guy who buys Wayne Enterprises, and Terry says, you need to keep Bruce Wayne's name out of your mouth.
Yep.
Goes to backhand him.
That was pretty awesome.
So, I loved it. I loved every page of this.
Yeah. I can't wait to read more. And then the last book I had this week, I had some others I had to get to still, but GILT #1, Elisa Whitney and Morissette and the art. A smart, fun book rooted in the real New York City, from Elisa's experience that we heard about in her interview a couple weeks ago. Fun time travel with different elements. I think the art by Morissette is phenomenal. And I like the character so far. So, we have this older woman who is part of some time travel society. She has this younger woman, show up to be her caretaker. Some weird stuff starts happening. I thought it was a fun first issue. The art's really good. I think Ahoy's got another. I think like Wrong Earth is and My Bad are kind of like at a whole nother level for Ahoy Comics, and I think GILT is going to be one of those staple books. I know like Captain Ginger and all that stuff's really good, but there's a couple books that get people to start reading more, and I think GILT is going to draw more people into Ahoy Comics.
Cool. I gotta check it out still.
Yeah, that's all I had.
I'll start with some Kickstarter books for Kickstarter creators who know that I'm their number one customer and I should be taken care of first.
Of course.
13th Labor #2. If you all remember in the first issue, Hercules had to go to the future to find a champion to fight aliens. And he finds out that he went too far into the future and that his champion is dead. But the champion's sister is still alive, so he tries to convert his powers over to her so she can be the champion, but something goes horribly wrong.
Oh.
And they're not able to do the transfer in time, and it ends with the aliens coming to Earth as they're trying to figure out how they can still make her the champion. Really fun book. I really enjoy it. Sci-fi mixed with kind of Greek mythology. Always a good time.
Awesome. And
then you talked about in the interview how you saw the image for Night Wrath, and you were like, "This is for me," and all that. That's how I felt about the title of this next book.
Okay.
It's called Vampire Detective in Space.
That's right up your alley, dude.
There's 3 words that are everything I enjoy.
Awesome.
So it's exactly what you think. We got a character who's a vampire detective, and he's in space. And somebody dies, and he has to figure out what happened. And then we kind of get the backstory of how he got to be. So he became a vampire in the 1800s and went to try to convince his wife to also become a vampire. Was able to convince her. They have a whole life, blah, blah, blah. And then sometime in our future, something happens on Earth, and they have to leave. But by then, people know that vampires are real. So the vampires try to sneak onto the ship to get off of Earth. Well, he's not able to get his wife on. She has to be left behind, and he has to watch her burn to death as the rocket shoots up into the air.
Oh.
So a lot of the issue is backstory, but then what we end up finding is he's the only vampire that people know of that's still alive.
Okay.
And we have the person murdered who was bitten by, you guessed it, a vampire.
Of course.
So I liked it. I'll follow it forward. It was a fun enough premise, and the art was pretty good too. So
okay, cool.
And Vampire Detective in Space. Devil's Reign #6. This is the last issue of this series. Well, technically not the last, but we won't go there. So Matt finds out that Kingpin killed his brother, and he goes to get revenge. And it's kind of an overdone thing where he goes and he fights. He starts beating on Kingpin, and he's about to kill him. And that's when Elektra comes in and goes, "No, that's not who you want to be." I was a little disappointed in Chip. Like, I've seen that scene a million times.
Yeah.
But where it ends off is Kingpin meets up with this group, and he's about to go to jail. They end up directing him to this group, and they tell him that they want him to run for president. And they give him this whole thing about how you'll be the most powerful man and blah, blah, blah. And his son is there, and his son had agreed to be a part of this whole mission. Well, right as you think he's about to accept, he says no, and it's because Kingpin is no man's puppet. And he ends up beating everybody to death. and leaving his son be like, this is my last thing to you. I wasn't there for you as a child, but I can leave this. You tell everybody that you killed these people and take over as the kingpin of crime, and I'm going to disappear, which is what he does. He goes off with Typhoid Mary and disappears into the sunset. A little weird for Kingpin to get that kind of ending, but okay. And then we get Matt and Elektra on a rooftop, and Matt decides that Hell's Kitchen no longer needs him. He's going to move on to something bigger and better. And him and Elektra are going to go off and start a new organization called the Fist to fight the Hand.
Interesting.
And their whole thing is now we're going to save the world. So it'll be an interesting new status quo. I'll be even more interested to see how it ties into what they're doing with Punisher, because Punisher, if anyone read issue 1 of that, he's taking over the Hand. So obviously Marvel's got something planned there. Good series altogether, even if there was a very cliche moment at the end of it. Batman Killing Time number 2, speaking of Tom King. Very disjointed book. Everything's done in like these 1 or 2 page moments of like, at this time this happened, at this time this happened, and
oh god,
go back 1,000 years and this happened. And it's like,
why does Tom King do that?
I gave him a shot. I'm done. I'm done. I really liked all the elements of this, but to disjoint everything so much, and it's not an exaggeration when I say it's every page. And then literally there's a page where it's like, and then 4,000 years ago, this person walked into a forest. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this person.
Right.
What does he have to do with Batman?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's all going to be explained to me. But
in the trade.
It's a 6-issue series. I'm 2 issues in. I'm already sick of it. That's all I got to say. I'm not reading any more of that book. I'm done with Tom King. At least in week to or month to month issues. Little Monsters number 2, another vampire book. So we got one of the kids found that the human at the end of the last issue, and he ends up running away, but another one of his friends comes over and ends up biting the human, and it's the first time any of them have actually bitten a human for their blood.
Okay.
And they find out that basically they've been lied to by their elder vampires, that the only way for them to achieve their real power and to grow up is by sucking the blood of humans. Basically that's it. Like, and then we find out there's a tribe of humans somewhere. But the issue ends with one of the little kids finding a human girl, and as they're interacting, he shows one of his fangs, and she shoots him right in the chest.
Oh.
And that's when we find out also that little girl is the narrator for the story thus far.
Cool.
So yeah, I really like this book.
Awesome.
And then One Star Squadron number 5.
Oh, I did read that. Yes.
Okay, you did. Good.
I did read it. Yep.
So the Heroes for Hire, it's not Heroes for Hire. Heroes for You.
Heroes for You. Yep.
Burned down the last issue. We're led to believe that it's Power Girl that did it. It turns out that's not. So this whole issue is like them dealing with what do they do now that everything's burning down. There's some of that Mark Russell in there where like the CEOs or the board is celebrating because they don't have to sell anymore, but they can collect the insurance money and run away.
Yep. Classic Mark Russell.
And then we find out at the end that what happened is Lex Luthor was going to buy them and put Minuteman in charge to be kind of his puppet. And Minuteman, not knowing what to do, just decides to burn the building down and has to come to grips with it. And that's when Red Tornado tries to help him and gives him a bunch of stolen cash and tells him to get out.
Also killed someone, too.
Yeah, and he killed the guy from the first issue. I forget the name of
his name. Yeah, the hero that was having issues.
There's also a really great moment in this book that was almost a little too real for this book, but I still liked it. When Red Tornado is like trying to think like, do I have a soul?
Yeah. That was kind of weird. Yeah.
It's 2 pages, and like I liked what Mark was putting down, but it was a little off-brand for what the book was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a strange moment, but I enjoyed it. I wonder how other people took it, especially it's not a Mark Russell thing really to do.
Yeah, it's not.
But
no.
Yeah, that's all I had. Mike,
Awesome.
Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
They can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter, also at FortressComicNews.com. Remember, everybody, to like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version. And if you are listening to this on a podcatcher, to give us the 5-star review or whatever review your podcatcher uses. And if you want to go the extra mile, not only do we have the affiliate links down below in the show notes, but there's also the Patreon at patreon.com/FortressComics. And thank you all so much for listening this week. I'll see you all here next week.